Welcome to our 2017 What's New in SOLIDWORKS webinar. Today we're going to take a look on all the new enhancements that SOLIDWORKS 2017 has to offer. SOLIDWORKS 2017 offers tons of enhancements when it comes to the design aspect, especially the user interface, where the breadcrumbs now display more information. The visual clarity has been enhanced. The parent-child visualization has been enhanced as well to be more clear and even display comments or warnings. The what's wrong details in the context menu can now be easily accessed and then make the necessary changes from there. Adding comments, viewing comments, and sorting comments is now super easy in SOLIDWORKS 2017. Decals in SOLIDWORKS 2017 are now displayed in the display states. So like I mentioned before, the breadcrumbs has been enhanced to include more items such as the reference planes, which are useful for adding mates. Breadcrumbs now display errors, warnings that can be easily accessed. That's going to take you to the context menu so you can make the changes from there. Let's go ahead and access that error, and it says missing plane, so let's go ahead and assign the plane for it on this face. And in a matter of seconds I just fixed that problem. Open this part up, and as you can see, all this clutter isn't really necessary. So in SOLIDWORKS 2017, hiding all this clutter happens with one button, as you can see, and the clutter was gone. Let's access all this warning. For example, we can access it from the context menu and see what's wrong with it. Like I said, please select the linear edge as an access for the circular pattern. So let's go ahead and do that. In a matter of a couple clicks, I was able to fix that problem. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for this fillet. Again, it says missing edge, so it highlights the edges for me. Problem solved. Let's go ahead and switch back to the assembly. As you can see, a lot of useful enhancements that SOLIDWORKS 2017 has to offer. Now, let's take a look at configurations, the enhancements for configurations. It's pretty common in our industries having parts with tons of configurations or with multiple configurations. Sometimes you need to sort those configurations in a certain manner that you want them to be accessed easily. In SOLIDWORKS 2017, you have the option to sort those configurations based on a numerical order, literal, or manual drag and drop. In this case, I was able to drag and drop just arbitrary configuration that I want to use later on in the assembly. So if I go back and I need to apply that configuration, it's going to be really easy for me to access that because I put it on the top of the list, so it's right here. Super fast, super easy, saved me a lot of time, and I was able to apply this configuration. Alright, let's take a look at the comments in SOLIDWORKS 2017. How did they change? All the components that have comments can now show an indicator next to them. All we need to do is toggle on that option, show comment indicator here, and as you guys can see, all the components having comments have this icon next to it. Adding comments is now easy. We can add a comment, any comment you want. You can add screenshots as well. Save and close. View all the comments. And you can also sort them by hierarchy, name, and date. And like I mentioned before, the display states are now enhanced to include decals. in SOLIDWORKS 2017. I have two more decals here. In a simple click, I just applied a different decal and another one here. So great new capabilities that'll make users' everyday experience even more productive. Let's go ahead and take a look at other enhancements that SOLIDWORKS has to offer in 2017. When it comes to sketches, the closed contours are now displayed as shaded, and you can choose the color for it. The Alt key, with the Alt key now you can select the closed contours, you can select one of them, you can select multiple closed contours at the same time with the Alt key, and the shortcut menus are now restyled to include the sketch entities that you normally use. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. If we open this part here, we start like a simple sketch here. With the right click, I'm able to access those sketch entities that I normally use. For example, a straight slot here. Let's go ahead and sketch an arbitrary slot here. As you can see, this closed contour, because it's a closed contour, it's shaded. And let's finish up our sketch here real quick. Another circle here. Now I'm going to drag this entire closed contour to the sketch, establish some relations. And the context menu now provide me with options to access certain features that I'd like to apply. Like, for example, I was able to customize my context menu to include the offset entities, saving me tons of time versus going and looking for it and apply it. So offset entities, let it be 1 millimeters here. With the Alt key, like I mentioned before, we can select multiple closed contours. So I'm going to select this closed contour, Control select this contour as well. From the context menu that I have customized before, I'm going to apply the extruded cut. As you guys can see, it's super easy to work with. So in a matter of seconds, I was able to apply this feature. So all these capabilities make working with sketches easier, intuitive in SOLIDWORKS 2017. Now let's go ahead and take a look at other enhancements. Part modeling. Transparent parts and bodies in section view are now enhanced in 2017 because, as you guys know, even the simplest looking parts can be really complicated due to the internal geometry or the internal design of it in SOLIDWORKS 2017. This challenge resolved with an enhanced transparent view. The thread feature has also been enhanced to include trim start and end faces. We have that option available versus doing that manually. We have the multi-start option, saving us time versus creating a feature on its own. A circular pattern has been enhanced to include direction 2. Faces, edges, and curves can now be selected for the sweep profile. Let's say I have this simple looking part, but let's apply some transparency to it. Section view, and let's set up the location for that section view. I'd like it to stop here because I know for a fact that I'm going to be using internal parts from here. So all you need to do is toggle on the transparently sectioned components and set up the level of transparency for it, and choose the selections to include these components, this one, and this one, for example. And now I have this part transparent enough for me to access the inner parts, conveyed with clarity as well. Let's say I want to apply some changes to this part in here. Let me show you how the thread feature was enhanced in SOLIDWORKS 2017. So let it start here. Offset, let it be 0.5 millimeters. 2 revolutions is good. Let me space them up. 0.55 millimeters. Extruded thread. And this is a powerful enhancement, guys, here for the thread options, where we can trim with the start face, trim with the end face, and create a multiple start. So you don't have to create a separate feature for it. All you need to do is toggle it on, and it's going to create it for us. I just created my thread feature having a multi-start option in a matter of one feature. Here's a great thing, or a great enhancement that comes with the thread feature in SOLIDWORKS 2017. If I want to create the sweep profile on this end, for example, I can select edges, curves, and sketches, like in this case, and it's going to create it for me. Really powerful. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Again, create a sweep profile for it. And select this curve. That's it. Really intuitive, really time saving. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the circular pattern that was enhanced to include another second direction. So let this edge be the direction for it. Let it be equal spacing, 160 degree, 8 instances. If I toggle on direction 2, all I need to do is toggle on symmetric. It's going to copy direction 1's inputs or entries. And that's it. It just created a second direction for my circular pattern that I created in direction 1. Most of you guys would like this new enhancement in SOLIDWORKS 2017, chamfers and fillets. We have now the option to create a multi-distance chamfer in one feature. So you don't have to do multiple features for different size chamfers. It's all done in one feature now. We can create complicated chamfers in a couple clicks. Really easy in SOLIDWORKS 2017. The most powerful enhancement here is the ability to change a chamfer to a fillet and vice versa in a simple click. Let's take a look at that. And say, for example, I'd like to create multiple chamfers here. This is the new offset face chamfer type that I need to use. Let it be 0.5 millimeters, and it's going to be a multi-distance chamfer. Let's say I'll start here, 0.5. It's going to, the next selection is going to copy the first dimension, but if you'd like to change it, let it be 0.4 here. Let me select another chamfer, 0.4, let it be 0.3. Such a great enhancement. Let it be 0.5. Now let's create some complicated chamfers here. Let me roll back to here and create this chamfer using the face-to-face and select my faces that I need to use for my chamfer. Let's say this one and this one here. That'll be a hold line as my chamfer parameters. And I'm going to select these two lines. And that's it. I just created this chamfer in a single feature in a matter of seconds. No problems at all. And like I mentioned before, a really great enhancement when it comes to chamfers and fillets that SOLIDWORKS 2017 has to offer is the ability to change any chamfer into a fillet and vice versa. Say for example you'd like to change this one here, this chamfer, into a fillet. All I need to do is just change it to a fillet. That's it. And choose the profile for it. Now I just changed my complicated looking chamfer into this fillet. So time-consuming design changes can now be applied in seconds. Now this is pretty common in many industries, guys. The hole wizard, the advanced hole, or the multi-stepped holes can now be created in a single operation in SOLIDWORKS 2017. Like you can even choose the far side for a hole, for a pre-existing hole. After you choose the near side for it, choose the start, middle, and the end conditions for it. Super easy to use, very intuitive. We can capture and reuse company standard holes tags with favorites. Like after you save your company standard holes from the fly out pane, you can reuse them, so you don't have to go individually to every single one and modify it individually. It's going to be saved and stored for you in the favorites menu, so you can use it anytime. I'm going to activate the section view for it. Let's use this pre-existing hole and apply the changes for it. So let's define the far side for it, because that was the near side. I'm going to choose this face as my far side, and let it be a drill size. Arbitrary values, it doesn't really matter here. Choose it 15. And see how easy it is to use, user-friendly, super intuitive. I just added this metal condition here, and you can even change its length from 77 to 25. And for its type, let it be tapered. Half an inch. Looks good. And the end condition for it, let it be just a normal hole. All of that is being performed in a single feature. Drill size, let it be 20. 20.5. That's it. I just defined the far side with the hole types for it. Let's close out of that. Show you how we can use the company standards and apply those standards in our design. So let's say you'd like to modify, you'd like to make changes to your design. I went ahead and saved a few favorites in my test pane here to my fly out pane here. And as you guys can see, as I go through those favorites, all those changes are being applied here. So it's all in my favorites menu. And by the way, all the changes or all the modifications that you do are automatically done for you in the drawings. So if you go to the drawings, and that includes everything, you know, regarding the whole call out information, is going to be automatically propagated to the drawings. When dealing with designs like these, working with Tool Wizards is super easy and super intuitive in SOLIDWORKS 2017. I'd like to take a minute to thank you guys for attending this webinar. I hope you guys enjoyed it.